Good afternoon, guys. Back here again at a full-size hive. I'll get onto that in a minute. Just like to mention the flowers. Obviously, without proper flowers and that, they don't have enough to eat. Ideally speaking, we're asking people to resist cutting their grass or their lawns. Let the dandelions grow and let the clover grow. We know bees don't see red, and this is a great example of what they can see. Blues and purples. This is Phacelia, and you can see it's quite a popular flower with them. The other one as well would be borage, also known as a star flower. It's an annual herb, and again, they absolutely thrive on that. I'd like to bring your attention to this. It's the Pollination Plan for Ireland that we have at the moment. Now, they're preparing their new plan from 2021 to 2025, and I will put a link at the end of this for you to click onto and see what's going on there. What I'd like to show you is the fact that they have a great selection of flowers and plants that we need to have around the country at the moment. You can see the Phacelia itself there. Okay, I'd like to move on now to the hive. What we have here is a WBC hive. William Burton Carr has been credited with designing this. It's a double-walled hive, so you still have your floor at the bottom, a mesh floor which could be part of your integrated pest management control. You also have a brood box in behind that, and on top, of course, the roof with the ventilation. Now I'm just going to take this down. I'm going to have a look and see what we have inside. This, of course, is a national hive. You can see the way the shell is on the outside. This is the first super we have here. Hive tool, always handy to have. In the supers, of course, the queen bee can't get up into it. It's just the honey that goes up into it. We have a queen excluder, which I'll show you now in a minute, that stops her from going up. So we can get our delicious honey at the end of the year. I'll just quickly show you a frame of a super, much smaller, which are purely for honey. No eggs, just the surplus of honey that the bees give to us at the end of each year. Now we have here the queen excluded I was talking about. At this stage we're always very careful. We don't want it to bounce or spring up. We're very conscious of keeping our queen alive. She is so important to us. So I'm just going to run this around it. Now, you can see some propolis here. The propolis is known as antimicrobial, antifungal, and anti-inflammatory, another byproduct of our bees. Now I'm just going to check underneath to make sure our queen isn't here. Very carefully put it over. Okay, so you can see here 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, 10, 11, 12. There is a paper out there recently by Moritz stating that the bees' defensive behaviour increases as the weather increases. Now, okay, so there is a specific way of turning the frames, especially so that you do not drop anything, and if you do, it drops down into the hive itself. Okay, so what we have here is some nectar. Nectar, as we know, comes straight from the flowers. It's a light syrup, nearly 70 to 90% of water. This then has to be converted into honey, which is done by our bees, of course. We have a little bit of brood here on this one. I'm just going to show you, just around the edges. And another bit of brood. This is here your sealed larva, which will eventually become your workers. Again, you can see a lot more larvae there. We actually have some unsealed larvae. This is a great shape for the brood and a great colour. A very healthy hive. And again on this side. I'm skipping along now, just normally we'd go through each frame, but I'm skipping along because I want to be able to show you some pollen. Pollen, as we know, is the only protein for bees, and it is crucial for the development of the larvae. There you can see one bee bringing it in. Tiny little bit of pollen here. You have your orange and yellow, possibly marigold, we're not sure. Okay, so I have a little bit more pollen up here. And great brood shape again. Right, so in this frame you can see we have some raised brood cells. This is the drone brood. Again, drones, the male honeybee, is essential for mating. Another little bit there. Okay, so again we have some more pollen. Just in here. Essential for the development of the larvae. Without it, the hive wouldn't survive. This is where our flowers and that come in really, and the feeding of bees come in. Really crucial. Okay. Didn't see the queen bee today. We do know she's there because I've seen eggs and young larvae and that. Don't want to disturb her any further, so I'm going to just close this gently back up, easing each frame up. Okay, so the honey that is capped is the only honey that is ripe for extraction. We never take the honey from this lower part. The brood box, this is called. We never take the honey from here. It's for the bees themselves. When they bring the nectar in from the flowers, the bee starts its conversion into honey. By adding an enzyme, a natural enzyme from themselves. It then goes through another process, another physical process of evaporation. So reducing the water content in nectar, and it's only then when it eventually becomes honey that they put it into the cells and then cap it. Okay, this here is the crown board. It just keeps them all in place. Just want to have a look and see, have you any honey at this point? Yeah. Okay, so here you can see they've pulled out all of the cells compared to the other frame in the super that I showed you. This is what they have built themselves. There's so many byproducts from the honeybees, it's just unbelievable. No capped honey in there just yet. The flow, as we call it, the honey flow hasn't actually started quite yet. A lot of bees, I believe, are swarming, but these bees very happy. Started one or two. Okay. As I said, there's a lot of byproducts. Wax is one, as we know, well and truly. A lot of my friends have made candles. Some have made the lip balm. Absolutely amazing stuff. Some have made soap. And they're just the byproducts. The best, obviously, is the honey that we all go for. A lot of people look for the local honey because it helps with their pollen allergies and that sort of thing. Okay, I'm going to just put the shells back on now. Okay, so you more or less, that's your honey hive, or your WBC hive. Quite picturesque, very popular. Great if you have them. They look really pretty in the garden. Okay, one more thing I'd like to draw your attention to, and it's the serious part. Okay, so as beekeepers we have to be responsible for keeping a healthy hive. You can see here that we do have different diseases that we need to be conscious of, and some cases need to be reported to the department. Okay, so you have the likes of, say, the European foul brood, a disease of unsealed brood which can appear patchy or a pepper pot shape. It affects the larvae, starves them, they turn a brownish colour, often appearing contorted. Okay, lost definition and will have a white gut. You can do a test on it. This disease is infectious and equipment may stay infected for several years. The disease can come sometimes and then disappear, larvae often removed by workers. But it's something to watch out for. Melicoccus plutonus is the causative agent in it. Okay, so we have another one. These are handy because you can always compare the pattern of the picture here to what's in your brood box. I have another one, the American foul brood. Okay, this here is Penibacillus larva, a disease of sealed brood which can appear patchy and pepper pot again, affect the larva and die, and decompose. Sometimes there's a smelling, but that's usually from a secondary infection. They dry out to a hard cell and that remains in the cell. The cappings look shrunken and greasy. This disease is very infectious, it is spore forming and it can last up to 60 years. So the treatment for this is quite severe. The thing is, you need to report both of these diseases to the department. Chalk brood is another general one that we tend to get. A disease of seal brood and it's caused by a fungus. Affected the larva and dry out to a hard white greyish or a mummy type scale. Okay, so that would be more common, if you like, in the springtime or in the springtime and that. It is a fungus type disease. That's just a small, you know what? I have one more that I do need to talk about. It's the varroa mite, of course. Here he is. The scourge of a lot of beekeepers at the moment. It's a parasitic varroa mite. It's discovered in Britain in 1992. The female mite lives on the adult bees and it sucks and eats at the body fats. We used to think it was the hemolymph, it's now the body fats. The mite population builds up very fast. Now this, because it doesn't kill them straight away, it does though act as a vector for all other diseases. You would possibly, which would include bee paralysis virus, deformed wing virus and a load of other viruses. Again, these are ones that we would treat for. We would treat August with Apigard, and then again a second time with acylic acid, which is much stronger in the winter months. Okay, as I said, that is a serious note, but it is something that we need to be responsible and careful about. I will put up the link, as I mentioned, for the Beekeeping Association is another one. The FIBCA is the Federation of Irish Beekeeping Association, where there is beginner classes. I'd highly recommend for you to take them. So thanks very much for your time. I'd like to sign off, and happy busy keeping.